Good morning or good afternoon or good evening, whatever your time zone is. Welcome to the channel. This is Roger Thunder. Right off the bat, I'd like to say that you should like this video and subscribe. And if you don't want to subscribe, if you can't hang around and you don't want to hang around, just leave but like it before you go. No problem with that. Like it for the effort that's made. How about that? So anyway, today I'm going to talk about the prayer circle, and specifically the prayer circle that I'm forming or have already formed. And I'll go into a little bit of detail about the prayer circle and the origins of it and the medicine wheel and Lakota tradition. That's what this is patterned after, Lakota tradition. It's a good tradition in the scheme of the indigenous people of this land. It's pretty straightforward and it's easy to understand. Well, let me clarify that. Sometimes not so easy, but when you've been with it as long as I have, then I guess I look at it as being easy. But I'm here to explain to you the purpose of a prayer circle or medicine wheel or walking the medicine wheel or the spirit of the four directions and the sacred pipe and all that stuff is something you need to kind of listen to in this day and age because number one, prayer circles are the only relief. Trust me, it's the only relief you're going to find as far as getting in touch with Great Spirit or the Creator or the Spirit that moves in all things. It's definitely a soothing and peaceful occupation to be praying and meditating and focusing on the energies of the earth and the cosmos and the solar system and all that encompasses. Now, I'm going to bring up a graphic here that you can look at. This is the prayer circle. This is the Red Road prayer circle emblem or insignia. And I've tried to incorporate a few things here within it. Now, you have this excellent picture, just beautiful picture of a native walking the Red Road here. Looks like Monument Valley in the background. Beautiful picture. Says a lot. Says more than 1,000 words. And then superimposed around the side you have different colored balls which represent the spirits of the four directions. Okay. Now, you may go and search for Lakota spirit of the four directions. You're going to come up with all kinds of different insignias and illustrations and paintings and explanations, and a lot of them are going to seem contradictory, okay? That's because the Lakota people, all right, had many, many different tribes and many different divisions, just like the Apache people. And so they might have had a slightly different take on the colors of the directions or the names, or, I mean, even when you get into pronunciation of the Lakota language, you got all kinds of people saying, no, it's said this way, or no, it should be said that way. Well, it's all depends on what tribal influence you might have come from, or that you might have been taught by, or that you might have heard. But anyway, I'm going to go with the one I learned, which is from Archie Fire Lame Deer, which was Lame Deer's son. And Lame Deer was a holy medicine man, pipe carrier, the Chanupa. There's another word that sometimes people disagree on. Is it Chanupa or is it Kanupa? Because it's spelled differently sometimes. But I digress. Let's get back to the spirits of the four directions, okay? So over here we have the west, okay, the black, and you can envision this as being, this is the west, this is the north, this is the east, this is the south. Now, in the west, the color is black, and the name is Sapa, S-A-P-A, Sapa. And that's where the Wakanyan reside. And what are the Wakanyan? Well, the Wakanyan are the Thunderbirds, or the thunder spirit beings. And they are sometimes feared, but not to be, because they regulate things like storms and thunderstorms, and they hide in the clouds, and they can throw down lightning bolts. But also they can do this in life as well. Okay, so that's one spiritual entity. Now we move up here to the north. This is called Lakota, which means red. Incidentally, Sapa means black, Lakota red. But in this direction is Wazi, the old man of the north. Okay, so you have entities in all these different directions. All right. Then on the east we have yellow, like the rising sun. And the name of that is Gi, G-I. Okay. And that's the eastern spirit of that direction. All right. Now there's other names for this in like the Hindu. Okay. But you're going to find pretty much that it's all kind of one and the same, transcendence in all kinds of levels as far as what philosophy or what mythology or whatever that you want to study. And I've studied them all, and finding out that they're all really kind of correlated, and I'll explain that later. Okay, so then in the south you have white. This is the medicine wheel. In the south you have white, which is Ogaga Ska, which is represented sometimes by the owl. And this is the realm of the spirit forces, like the curtain, the dimension, the door out, the door in, the spiritual side, the spiritual boundary. That's why some people are sometimes afraid of the owl in traditions, Lakota. Nothing to fear there either. This, again, getting back to Sapa, is kind of similar, except Sapa is a meditative situation, as well as the Wakanyan and the Thunder Beings. This is kind of like a sunrise in the east here. The dawning of a new day, that kind of thing. Indra is, in Hindu literature, it's called Indra, I-N-D-R-A. Up here in Hindu, it's called Soma, and over here in on the west, it's called Varuna, and in the south it's called Yama. Right? Just thought I'd throw that in just to show you that each tradition has its own names, but it's all the same energy. It's all the same energy. Now, when we're talking about the prayer circle, and we're talking about Lakota tradition, we also have to talk about the history of the Chanupa, which is sometimes used, it's called the sacred pipe, the redstone pipe. This is a picture of the redstone pipe. Why do they call it redstone? Because the bowl here is made out of a catanolite, I think they call it, which is can only be found in the sacred hills somewhere in Dakota and It's like this particular mineral is very sacred and represents, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it has something to do with the blood of the buffalo, although I could be wrong on that, but it does, it's a one-of-a-kind mineral, and it's only found in that area. And then, of course, you have the stem to the pipe, which has all kinds of pictures on it of animals. And those animals also represent the spirits of the four directions. So you might like have a buffalo or and an eagle and things of that nature on the pipe. But when you sit with this pipe and you pray to Grandfather, and Grandfather is known as Wakan Tonka or Tunkashila, either one of those will work. Each one has kind of a different meaning, though. And I don't want to make this video hours long, but I'll just give you the cursory names and how it works, the concept, basically. So you have the sacred pipe, all right, and basically there's a masculine and feminine aspect to this pipe. And the stem disconnects or pulls out or goes back into the bowl. Now, in some very high understanding, okay, of the pipe, not only does the smoke, you're offering smoke to Great Spirit, you're saying, you're asking the smoke to ascend to Great Spirit, carrying your prayers, you're offering smoke. You can do this with sage as well. Usually there was a mixture of tobacco and kinnikinnick, which is a wild herb, herbal mixture. Sage, tobacco, sweetgrass sometimes, or you could burn sweetgrass as you're doing this traditional ritual. But this is a very earthy type of way to connect with Great Spirit. And you could, if you're doing it correctly, if you're sitting in a humble attitude and calling upon Great Spirit, you could feel the energy just come right down through the pipe and kind of make your hands tingle if you're holding the pipe. Don't even need to smoke it, really. All you got to do is hold it with reverence and offer prayer to Great Spirit. Tunkashila, Wakan Tonka. I'll repeat those occasionally. Wakan Tonka means the great mystery, okay, the holy mystery. Tunkashila means grandfather's breath. That's an active force. That's almost like a Holy Spirit. That's almost like a Shakti energy, creative energy, a moving energy, almost like a Kriya energy. Now, as a matter of fact, in meditations, advanced meditations, you move the energy up from the base of your spine to the crown chakra or to the medulla oblongata in the back of the neck. This pipe actually represents that. So you have the spine here, which energy flows through, and then you have the bowl. And in the bowl is a opening, kind of like the medulla oblongata. This would be the head of the person, and this would be the spine. Energy moving in this way. I bet a lot of you people that are into traditional Lakota ceremony didn't know that. Well, that's a higher teaching. That's a higher teaching, so not everybody will know that. So again, this is called the Chanupa or the Kanupa, depending. It's like when I was explaining the tribal thing earlier, it's like some people say potato, some people say potato. Doesn't really make any difference what you say. It's your intention behind it. You can pronounce it any way you want. But Great Spirit knows, so that's not something that should be an issue in any way, shape, or form. As long as you know and as long as your connection is solid, then that's basically what it amounts to. So typically when you load the pipe, you ask, as you put in whatever mixture you're putting in there, you ask all the spirits of the 6 directions, including the 4 directions and grandmother and grandfather, or Unsi Maka, Mother Earth. In reality, there's father and grandfather and mother and grandmother. Father would be Wakan Tanka, Tukashala would be grandfather. Mother would be Hanwi, which is the moon, and Unsi Maka would be grandmother, which is the earth. That's my teachings on it anyway. That's my take on it from research, and nobody's going to know the actual perfect ritual. It doesn't really matter in the eyes of Great Spirit. Again, it doesn't matter about pronunciation. It's the intent behind it. So anyway, the prayer circle that I'm starting here is called Walking the Red Road, or the Red Road Prayer Circle. Let me explain a little bit about what that means. There's 2 roads, the red road and the black road. It's kind of like the black wolf and the white wolf, that story. But the red road is the straight and narrow path, or the path that is sometimes harder to walk, okay, or traverse, because of all the negative influences in the world and all the negativity. The red road is one of positive outlook, but few take it. Okay, few take it. They'd rather take the broad and narrow black road, which is full of materialism, deception, lies, propaganda, the world as we know it. Okay, so it's kind of like taking the high road or the low road. Now, if you want to take the high road, you're walking the red road, and you have morals, and you have compassion, and you have love, you have a humble attitude towards Great Spirit. You humble yourself. Because let's face it, man is very puny in the eyes of the overall big picture. Go to a telescope or go to a satellite in outer space and see how puny mankind is compared to the cosmos or the solar system. And basically what you're doing is you're calling upon all the forces and energies and intelligence embodied in the planet, Unsi Maka, Mother Earth, the planetary consciousness, the Tantra of Mother Earth, and then you're also beckoning to or appealing to the divine emanation of the great mystery Wakan Tanka Tukashila. And you're making that connection, and you're making it on an energy level. But if you just sit with the Chanupa, or the sacred pipe, in your lap and do prayer with that, you'll find that you find some amazing things happening. In relationship to the pipe, there has been pipe carriers, and the origin of the pipe is with the white buffalo calf women who came, centuries ago, appeared to 2 Lakota men, and then was taken to the camp and gave the pipe as a gift, or as a means, or as a tool to contact Great Spirit. And there's a whole story about that that I won't go into. But it's a beautiful story, and it's an offering from a benevolent spirit to be able to help mankind connect, all right? And so that's been a tradition, and so there have been bundles passed down with pipes in them, sacred pipes. The original sacred pipe, by the way, is still with us, still carried in a bundle. I don't know who's carrying it right now. I think the last Averil looking horse, I think it is. I could be wrong in the name there. Sometimes I get absent-minded. But he's the current carrier of that bundle. I don't know if he's still around. I really don't know where the bundle is right now. But that's kind of irrelevant. It's the metaphor of the whole thing is each person can carry their own pipe, and there's divisions as far as pipe carriers go. Pipe carriers sometimes enable things like sweat lodges and sun dances and other forms of ritual in the Lakota tradition. And sometimes a pipe carrier will not be that out front about it, and just like myself, and treat it with such great reverence that you don't want to make a mistake in any area, although, Great Spirit sees your intention anyway if you do. But sometimes it's better, for me, it's just a personal pipe. I'm my own pipe carrier. People can look at me any way they want. They can look at me like, well, he carries the pipe and he prays through the pipe, so that might be relevant. And then again, it might not, because it's a personal thing. Now, when I start a prayer circle, is already in effect, I pray with the sacred pipe. That doesn't mean that everybody in the circle has a pipe, although they should get one. It's harder and harder to find that type of redstone, that type of thing, actually from that area. I feel blessed that I actually got one from that area. But people will look at you, in whatever way they want. Now, when I say I'm walking the red road or the red road prayer circle, anybody that joins that circle, and there's only a few members right now because I'm very picky. But then I was thinking about that in conjunction with, well, what about all the people out there that really need this, all right? See, there is power, much power, great power in the prayer circle. Let's not make any mistake about this. When you form a circle, it's recognizable easily by the Great Spirit. It's like pinging the radar. It's like, oh, there's a group of people that are unified. That always means a lot to Great Spirit, unification of the peoples. And when you form a prayer circle, there's a unification going on there of one heart, the one eye of the heart, Chante Ishte. Chante Ishte, the one eye of the heart. And everybody is thinking in this direction, and everybody is praying together. And there's a certain time that is picked that everybody pray together. That doesn't mean that, if it's a certain time in one time zone. No, it's all just one time. Doesn't matter what time zone you're in, and that's figured out as to what a good number would be on a numerological level and on a spiritual level. But that's something that's kept secret, except for members of the prayer circle. Now, if you want to join the prayer circle, I'm going to put my email and my, a link to spiritofcrazyhorse.com. You can write me a letter, or you can send me your phone number, and I'll contact you if it's in the States, Or you could just send me an email and say you wish to contact me or you wish to join the prayer circle. And there are some members that are coming in from a previous organization, or let's say group of people that I had called the Campfire Council, that you may still be lingering out there in the shadows somewhere. And if you want to rejoin the circle, feel free. I'm not expecting a multitude of people. However, getting back to the concept of prayer circles, scriptures and the scriptures say, and other sources, metaphysical sources, seem to indicate that there's power in numbers. Power in numbers. And if you have a unified heart and a unified mind and a unified spirit, and you're all praying together or meditating, let me touch on that a minute. If you're meditating, which is a prayer, there's a very thin line in between prayer and meditation. If you know what you're doing, it's all the same. If you're doing this in numbers, okay, as in more than two or more, it exponentially increases the energetic flow and vibration and connection with Great Spirit. Actually, 2, 3, 4 people have an effect on the whole world if they wanted to, if they have that intention. Now, what I'd like to do, if there's any people out there that are practicing shamans as myself, or medicine men, or anything of that nature, by all means contact me. I've already been in contact with several that are interested in are inputting, let's say, to it, giving me input. There is strength in prayer and numbers, and so if anything's going to change the world, short of picking up a gun and going out and getting involved in some kind of revolutionary process or actual warrior process, short of that, the only other alternative is to become a member of a prayer circle or a unity of like-minded spiritual forces and friends and combined heartfelt intentions. And you pray for one another in the prayer circle. Each person knows each other's name, and you might have 6 people in a prayer circle, and you might go into the prayer circle and pray for protection, guidance, wisdom, knowledge, serenity, peace of mind, family unity. Whatever seems to be the problem in that person's circle, prayer is offered up for that person, and you move on to the next person, all right? Now, this is just not, this isn't just a bunch of people thinking that they're doing something. You actually have to be doing something. In fact, there's compassion and love for every part of the prayer circle on all levels. I don't care whether it's physical, mental, or spiritual. And the tradition is that you help each person in the prayer circle, not only through prayer, but actual actions, okay? So once the circle gets going, okay, you have a huge, let's say you get 100 people, you have an extended family, you have a bunch of people that really care about you. You have a bunch of people that have compassion and love for your situation and offer up their prayers and whatever other help they can do. Everybody is helping one another. And let me tell you, as times get more critical, and they couldn't get more critical than they are, I hope, but they're critical enough now to where it's going to become more and more difficult for people to, let's say, make ends meet or keep their sanity or, keep their balance in the world, to keep their spiritual connection with the higher source. That's very, very important. Very, very important. That's a protection. It's moving in the right direction. Now, my mind is that a strong prayer circle with shamans and with people of good heart and good intention, and preferably people that are into the sacred indigenous mindset of living next to the earth and Mother Nature, stuff's going to start happening, okay? Not only in the people's, in the families that are being prayed for, their healings are going to start taking places, and I believe the world itself could actually change. This is my belief. Through unified prayer out into the cosmos, what other avenues do you have? What other avenues do you have? Now, you might say, well, I pray to my God, and that's all I need. I'm a believer in this or a believer in that. And, well, I would ask you to just consider the fact that maybe there's a special way, okay, that you have to approach Great Spirit, a way that really gets through, instead of just rote prayer like in public places and churches and that type of thing. Lip service, okay, and it has to do with the intentions of everybody that surrounds you in that church or that whatever. And I honor you if you're getting good results, but I'm finding out that the Red Road way, the original way, the people of the land, the people of the earth, the human beings, I find that's a real good earthy way. Not only is it grounding, because you have the pipe from the earth and all that stuff, but it's a very grounding, peaceful thing just to sit and meditate with the pipe and contact Great Spirit. And there's no doubt it is a ritual, but is the act of doing something, holding a pipe, smoking it, sending smoke up, burning sage, is looked upon by Great Spirit in a great way, in a very benevolent way. So that's what I'm doing right now. And again, I say that I'm not just, there's an inner circle here. Okay, with the prayer circle. There's an inner circle. And that inner circle will be added to slowly. Okay. And the people that are interested, okay, will be vetted or let's say looked into, or I'm not saying I'm going to run some kind of security check on you or anything. I'm just saying I'm going to run an intuitive check. Being a wisdom keeper, I'll know whose hearts are in the right place. I'm not going to be tricked, okay? I've kind of been tricked in the past. You kind of learn from those experiences. So, yeah, that's out there. I'm just putting this out there. You want to comment on this video? You want to talk about it? You have any more questions? I'm sure I left out. I mean, there's so much in the Lakota tradition, so many holy men, Fool's Crow, Lame Deer, and you can go way back to Sunke Wheatgo. His horse is Crazy, or Crazy Horse, okay, who I considered almost like a Lakota Christ. Christ conscious, anyway. He was not of the normal ilk, but I might do a video on that later. Incidentally, my website is called spiritofcrazyhorse.com. That's where you can connect by email. There's an email thing on the right sidebar. And also there's a donation button there that you can, if you want to donate $10 or more, I'd appreciate it. It helps me. I'll send you a free copy of my book, by PDF. $10 or more gets you a Listen to the Wind Speak from the Heart, a book written in the indigenous tradition, with it being also award-winning too, by the visionary group, by a visionary group. So anyway, I guess I'll kind of leave it there today. I wanted to touch on this. I wanted to get this out there just for the members and just for other people that might be interested. I'm kind of, I'm open to receiving emails, see who's interested, but doesn't really matter, because Great Spirit will only allow those that are really interested and really have a pure heart to be involved in this. I'm doing a video on it to let you know where my headspace is and where I'm coming from. This is the only way, people, to get any kind of relief and peace of mind. And this might be an answer for you in that regard. So I'm going to leave it there, and until I talk again in my next video, I think I might do one about the spirit of Crazy Horse and Crazy Horse the man, and more about Lakota tradition and that type of thing. If you're interested in the indigenous realm, this video is for you. If you're not, like it anyway, just for the effort made. Thank you. Wopila.